Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Talk podcast. This is the second episode I've recorded today, and there's just something about that makes me so freaking happy. When you're listening to this, I had posted last week's episode the same day I'm recording this one, if that makes sense. So basically, last week's episode, if you listened and you knew, was up a couple hours late. It was up like 5 hours later than I normally would put it up. And that is because I literally didn't feel like sitting and recording on that Sunday. Like, I usually record episodes on Sunday. I need to like fix that, but that's been like the per usual. Because of female problems, time of the month, was not feeling it. So I didn't feel like recording it. So I recorded it. That sounds so weird. On Monday and put it up like a few hours later. And then now it is currently 10:06 p.m. on that same Monday. And I worked a little bit tonight. I came home a little after 8 p.m. I ate a little bit. I said a quick goodnight hug and kiss situation to JJ. I did hang out with him for a little bit, but his bedtime is normally 8. So I try not to push it too much past, because I do want him to get plenty of sleep and then get up and be good at daycare and everything. So I saw him for a little bit, hung out, hug and kiss. He went to bed. I got in the showered really quick, and now here we are recording another episode. I don't know what it's been about today. It's such an unpopular opinion, I think, but I personally love Mondays. There's just something about Mondays for me that I don't know what it is. Like, I personally just really love Mondays. A lot of people hate them. Obviously, it's the first day back after the weekend. No one wants to work, all that stuff. I usually don't work on Mondays. I told someone I'd cover like half their shift. So I did go into work. I was supposed to be off today. I don't usually work Mondays, and I loved that for myself. I'll give that to myself. I love being off on Mondays. There's just, I don't know, something about it. Like, I think that's why I love it so much, is the fact that when I have a Monday, like, I don't usually work, so I don't mind that a Monday comes around. I don't know. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. There's just something about it. Mondays are my favorite day of the week. So with that being said, everything today has just been amazing. I've just been in such a good mood all day. The weather was amazing. I mentioned this in what will now be last week's episode. The weather was amazing today. I got really good coffee this morning, and I don't know, just it carried on that way. Like, the day literally hasn't like dipped at all. It's just been a great day. And I am pushing myself to get this episode recorded, kind of. It definitely could be an early night for me if I just didn't record this and kind of just went like straight to bed, but I don't know, I really wanted to like sit down and talk again and record another episode. I also won't have time this weekend when I normally would record episodes to record this episode, so I kind of have to get it done early. So I'm just getting it not like done and out of the way, so to speak, but like, I don't know, just making sure I get it done and I'm not stressing and struggling getting closer to the weekend and needing it done. But here we are. I feel like I'm so not giving off the vibe that I literally just explained with it being a great day. I feel like I sound really mellow and everything. I'm trying to not record like very quiet, but like, it's really awkward when like I'm recording at night and JJ's asleep, so I definitely don't want to wake him up. And now that I record in this new setup, if you're new, I used to record in the kitchen at our island, but now that I got this chair for Christmas from my grandmother, I set up this little kitty corner almost in our apartment bedroom because it gave better like aesthetic, and like I actually kind of sort of have a background now and it just looks a lot better. But like I now share a wall with JJ's room. So I don't want to wake him up, and I feel like it's really weird because we do live in an apartment. Like I'm sure people aren't like necessarily, hopefully 100% like hearing me, but the fact that I will be talking for anywhere between a half hour to an hour, I don't want to be like super super loud, especially because like I said, it is like 10 p.m. and like most people are like laying down, if not sleeping, getting ready for work the next day. So I feel like I am really mellow and quiet, but we're still gonna get this episode done. This episode topic, I found this post on Instagram that I'm going to turn into this episode topic, if that makes sense. I found it on the Instagram. It was called, I wrote it down. Everyday_connection was like the @ for the Instagram page. And someone had reposted, I'm going to look it up now before I tell this story because I want to make sure I got it. Yeah. Okay, so I saw someone repost something from, my eye is itchy. When I take off my makeup, I thought I was over whatever these makeup wipes do to me. I use like the Neutrogena makeup wipes, and I started using like the fragrance free ones because I realized that, this is totally off topic, I realized when I use like the regular ones, my eyes would be like burning and I'd be like blind, like I can't see anything after I use them. And I realized they have like fragrance free ones, and I started using those, and my eyes don't burn afterwards, but like I don't know, right now they're just super itchy. Anyways, the post that this Instagram has, it looks like they wrote it in like their notes app and just like put it up as like a post, and it had like in bold some kind of topic, and then underneath they just like bulleted little things based off the topic they had, if that makes sense. So I was looking through it, and one of them had said keep people close who ... and then listed like the kinds or like the type of people you should keep close to you. Like basically how do I explain this? Like the type of people that you have, like little actions that they do or would say or something, and like those are the kind of people you should keep in your circle. Those are the kind of people that like you should have as friends, or I don't know, just keep them like close knit, like don't lose them type of people. So I wrote what they had for like types of people, and I'm just going to kind of talk about them, kind of explain these types of people, kind of like why you should keep them not like around, but definitely in your close like knit group of friends. I don't know, I just loved the post, and I thought it was really important to kind of like realize the like these types of people, because I would say you definitely have to give credit where credit is due sometimes, and well, all the time, but sometimes it is the people you have around you, the people you hang out with almost every day, the people you talk to every day. Like if like realize like when I'm listing these types of things, like try to think of like the people who would fit, and like you realize it's probably the people you have in like your everyday life, if that makes sense. The first thing they had were, so this is a keep people close who hold you accountable. I thought this was super important because friends that hold you accountable help you stay on top of what you're doing, and it helps a lot whether you realize it or not, or whether you know it or not. People who will sit there and hold you accountable, sometimes when you're not even keeping yourself accountable, is really important, because they're kind of almost in a way like pointing things out to you that you're kind of not realizing. And sometimes the way they either tell you or show you or explain to you, you might not be seeing it yourself. So you're kind of like getting a new perspective on things, and you're like, wow, like I really needed to know that, or I really needed you to show me that type of situation. So people that will sit there and hold you accountable are very important people, I'd say. I'm literally starting this episode, and I do this all the time now. I don't know what it is. Okay. Back up. Intro. Streaming platforms, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, anywhere you stream your podcast. I've been doing this, I think, in the last couple episodes. I know one of the episodes I recently just did, I literally didn't put that till like the end because I literally forgot until I was about to end the episode, and I was like, oh my god, I don't think I said this. But again, giving you guys a huge thank you. This podcast is doing, or has been doing, really well lately, and I couldn't obviously do this without you guys listening and watching and any type of way you hear this podcast. Also, wherever you find it. We are also here on YouTube, Girls Gotta Talk Podcast. Come and subscribe. Even if you listen to it and stream it anywhere, come and subscribe. Still kind of be be a part of the fam over here, but you can still stream it. It's okay. But yeah, it's been definitely growing lately, and I love every second of it. We do have a podcast Instagram if you want to go and follow. I also just made a podcast Twitter. Everything is in the description below, whether you are here on YouTube or you are streaming this podcast anywhere. I made sure everywhere it's put up, it's put in whatever description you're listening or watching or streaming this on. It's the same everywhere, so no matter what you're doing, you can find everything. Now, I guess back to the episode. The next thing I have was want more for you, not from you. And this is basically the people who want to kind of see you succeed. They want to see you do really well in everything that you're doing. They basically want to hang out with you or help you because, how do I say this? So they want to help you succeed. So they want to hang out and like help you or make sure you're getting to where you want to be, and it's benefiting you almost, not benefiting them, if that makes sense. They want to help you thrive, like genuinely want to see you, like they know where you want to be, they know what you want to do, they know what your like biggest dreams or goals are, and they want to actually help you get there. You know, like sometimes they either want to be on something or like in a video or any type of like, if it's like content creation, they just want to be there to say that they've been there or like show their friends that they're on the internet in some way, shape, or form, versus the people who want to be there to help you like make sure that your content is amazing, make sure it's the best you could do, whether they're in it or not type of situation. I don't know, like realizing that I have people in my life who are here and always supporting in any way, shape, or form is one of the greatest things personally, because it just makes you feel even better than how you're already feeling with whatever you're doing. It's realizing that no matter what, like whether you need to talk about something or show something or ask about something, whether they completely understand what you're working on or not, they're still going to sit there and give you 100% feedback of what they feel, and that can either help you or you're kind of learning from it. Like they'll give a little perspective that honestly sometimes like you didn't think of, and it could be kind of a game changer for you, or it's just you're just talking, like ideas are spitting, ideas are just coming out. Might not use them, they might not be helpful, but at least they're there. They're just kind of, I don't know, giving you the back and forth that sometimes you need to get the final product that you're working on, if that made any sense. But definitely some of the best people to have around and definitely to keep around. The next thing that they had was people who respect your boundaries. I feel like this is definitely a big one. This goes for both relationships and friendships, honestly. People that are okay with the fact that you don't want to talk about like a certain something or a certain situation that happened at that moment, but they don't also sit there and ask a million questions. They just kind of let you, this is definitely like a personal thing. They just kind of let you like sit there and gather thoughts and think about it and go through it and then come to talk. So they're not asking like a million questions and trying to get you to talk. They're kind of just giving you your space and will let you talk when you're ready or when you want to. That is definitely something I'm really big in. I personally am not a type of person that likes to talk about things like right then and there in the moment. I am one that likes to sit with my thoughts for a minute and kind of not necessarily like cool down, but kind of like recollect myself, if that makes sense. And then I either will talk later when it's brought up or like come and be like, okay, now we could talk about it type of situation. People that respect that type of boundary, or just honestly your boundaries in general, but that one is definitely like the biggest for me, are definitely, again, the type of people to keep around, because a lot of people that don't respect your boundaries, is kind of like disrespectful to begin with, but like, I don't know, I feel like for you, it will kind of start to stress you out and get you really overwhelmed, and it's either just going to be like fights all the time, and you definitely obviously don't want to be fighting with friends or family or anything, relationship, significant other all the time, but that's basically what it's all going to come down to if they're not respecting your boundaries, because someone is going to overstep somewhere and it probably just isn't gonna end well. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to, like, you yourself have to see kind of where you stand in certain situations, like kind of self-realize where you stand and make sure that you kind of realize how the other person is either reacting or feeling. So that way you know, like, when to kind of back down if you feel like you're doing too much, or I don't know, like how to help them and when to help them kind of situation. People who that respect that for yourself, like the people who respect that for you, are definitely people to keep around. The next thing that they had were celebrate your wins. The people who want to celebrate with you are honestly, hands down, the best types of people. They want to celebrate with you because they realize that you went, like, what you went through or what you did to get to the place that you're at was definitely probably hard work and a lot of time and effort, and whether you complained about it or went through it 100% with like the best mind space, they're still happy for you. Like, they're happy that you got to where you wanted. They're happy that you got the result that you wanted, that you are where you're at. And I don't know, like, they want to celebrate you. They want to celebrate you personally, but they want to celebrate with you because, I don't know, like, they just watched you go through everything that you just went through, and they're just super, super proud. And honestly, like I said, best types of people. The next thing is the people who reciprocate effort. Reciprocate. Am I just realizing that I don't know how to say that word? Reciprocate. Okay. Anyways, I just like said it and it sounded weird. Basically, when you do something for them or you ask them for almost the same thing in return and they do it without hesitation, this could go as little as a ride somewhere, asking for money if you forgot your wallet, or like just being there to talk, or just being like, hey, I know you're not gonna either A, understand this or know what's going on, but I just need you to listen. The people who sit there and do anything for you almost without hesitation are definitely the people that you need to keep definitely in your close, like, knit friend group. They're definitely not the people that you want to ever let go. I mean, especially like if you would do it for them, it's, I don't know, I would say almost like it's one thing. For you to do something for someone is definitely one thing because that's on you. But if they do it in return, that's when you know, honestly, they're a keeper. This could go the same thing, friendships, relationships. You just kind of have to watch how people act or react to things, and then you kind of get your like judge a character right there. But yeah, just something small that's, I don't know, really nice, and you definitely want, how do I say this? You want in return, and you want around all the time. The next thing is, I like hiccuped right there. The next thing is people who are willing to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is definitely something very, very, very huge. Obviously, you have to get very comfortable kind of with like a person to get to certain types of vulnerability. The people who open up about things they never thought they would talk about, or things they thought would make them sound like weak or helpless almost. Having talks that need to be had, the deeper the talk sometimes, the better you feel afterwards. I'm like reading notes that I like wrote down, and then like different thoughts are coming to my head. Having talks that need to be had definitely make you feel better afterwards, because A, you're getting everything off your chest. B, you might not realize different things that have happened. Like, you might see one side of the story or situation, but if you're having a talk with someone that gets like really, really deep and personal and vulnerable, you start seeing almost every aspect, and you could see either why they react or didn't react certainly or a certain way. But the people who are willing to be vulnerable, I think, are people you should keep close, because I feel like at that point you just know that you'll always get 100% of them, if that makes sense. They're not scared to like hold anything back or tell you anything. Like, you know, when someone doesn't want to be like super open or honest about something, and they try to like either sugarcoat something or tell you something's really good just because they don't want to be that person that like doesn't want to tell you that you did a really bad job, or they think you could do a little better. Because it's kind of in one way kind of almost pushing you, if that makes sense, to what they know you can do or what you can open up to. The next thing that they had on their post was respect your time and energy. This is kind of a big thing. This is another thing that goes friends, family, relationships, really anyone. If they know you're tired or you're busy and they understand, is amazing. That's amazing of them. That's amazing for you. They're not gonna sit there and push you to be like, well, you have to come, or yeah, but like we won't be out late. Like, they try to talk you into it. Like, if they just completely understand either what you're going through and realize you don't want to do something, or you're just busy and you can't squeeze it in, and they don't ask a million questions as to why, or like make a fuss about either what you're doing or who you're hanging out with, if they think you're like hanging out with that like certain person too much or something. Another thing, this is definitely big for me, especially with the fact that I am now a mom, is the people who understand that, like I said, now that I'm a mom, and sometimes I can't do anything because my child needs me. I need to be there for them, and or the people who understand that you don't want to be doing anything because you're just exhausted and tired, and they understand and they just kind of leave it at that. They don't try to put up a runaround or anything, and they just kind of let things be. They let you have your moment, have your vibe, that type of situation. Either that or like, honestly, like a thing about that is like, if it was literally like another way and they were like, okay, well, let me just come hang out with you, like that type of thing, where it's like, we don't have to do anything, we don't even have to talk. Like if they just sat on the couch next to me while we watched a movie or I literally was just sitting there, you can come hang out like all you want, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm not forcing anything. You're gonna see me probably in like pajamas, and we could just snack and watch a movie, and if that's good for you, like that's good for me type of situation. Do I want to go and be around like public and human beings all the time? No, that is definitely not my type of vibe. The next thing they had were people who show forgiveness. Obviously this could be a really, really, really big thing. The people who are sorry and act like they're sorry versus the people who are sorry but don't seem it or show that they're sorry, and they're just saying it to say it and like move on from like the situation or whatever had happened, just because they either want to be over it or they don't want to talk about it anymore, or they don't care how you feel and they're just kind of don't want to be hearing your side of anything anymore. They just kind of want to move on. And yeah, but the people who actually show forgiveness and apologize like a million times and actually mean it, and they like, you could just see that their vibe, that they feel really bad, even if it's their fault or not, like, or they need to be sorry or not. Just the people who make sure that they move on from things and both of the parties are okay are definitely important people. The next thing is the people you can be honest with. This is honestly the best feeling. The people around you, knowing you can be honest with them and you'll get through whatever it is. Again, I feel like a lot of these things could be in any situation: friends, family, definitely relationships. I think I said this in last week's episode. I forget like what topic per se, but like when something happens, I'd rather hear something or like listen to something, even if I don't want to, like right off the bat, rather than hear a lie or like a sugarcoat or anything, just because you don't want to like hurt me or get me upset or anything. I'd rather hear it right then and there and deal with the situation than to have a little runaround in the moment and then it comes back a day, a month, a year later, and you're revisiting a situation that could have already been like squashed and talked about and recovered from and figured out or whatnot. People who you could be honest with and like kind of, I don't know, like oversee that whole thing are great, because something happened, you sit there, you talk about it, you go through the situation, you figure it out. It's dead, done. You move on from it, make sure both parties are okay, and it's a move on situation. Like, people like that are honestly, I would say, the best people to have around, because Like, I understand your respect of not wanting to like upset or hurt me or anything, but also I would definitely appreciate the respect of like just being like straight up, forward, honest, things like that. I feel like people like that are definitely people to keep very close to you, because they're kind of just the people you need. They're kind of the people that you, I don't know, would kind of say like you almost need to go through things with, because they'll tell you the truth. They'll tell you honest opinions. They'll tell you honest situations, or like they'll kind of tell you you're right from wrong, whether you realize it or not. And I don't know. I think that's really great. The last thing that was there was inspire you to be your best self. This is hands down the best people to have around. Definitely the people to keep close to you at all times. Being there to tell you that you're doing a good job, especially when you think you're not, or they tell you at times that you really need to hear it. Those are the best times. People who are very supportive of you doing the things that you love and that are passionate about, kind of whether or not they understand anything about what you're doing. I don't know, like the people who will kind of have no idea like about your passion or what you're doing, but they'll still sit there and support you 100% of the way, are definitely people to keep around. I feel like that's one of the greatest things on the face of the earth, because I don't know, like those are just genuine people. Those are the types of people that want to see you succeed, and they want to see you strive and thrive and be your best self. They love seeing that. It's the greatest feeling. And the people that are there to just like hype you up are such a game changer sometimes, because it could be like in a very joking way, but at the same time, like you're kind of feeling yourself a little bit. Like you start to change your mind, change what you're doing, like change aspects of things. And I don't know, like it really just is a game changer sometimes. Like you might not realize that that's actually what you needed. Not even like in your life, but just that day. Like it can go as small as just that day, or within that little time period that you've been working on something and you think you're either failing or not doing a good job, and you feel like just giving up, and those people are there to hype you back up and make you realize that you're doing this because you are doing a good job, and you are gonna get through it, and you are gonna have the greatest outcome ever. Those, I think, I would agree. I don't want to say I think, because this was not my list that I put together. I would agree. Those are 100% the types of people that you should keep close. Honestly, at all times. If you haven't found these people yet, you will. You will have these people in your life in some way or another. I couldn't agree more. To any of these things, these are definitely the characteristics of like very genuine people. But with that being said, that is all I have for this episode. Once again, like I said last week, I'm going to be giving all my credit to where credit is due going forward, and that is you guys listening, you guys watching. I love you guys so much. Tell your family about this podcast, tell your friends, tell everyone, make everyone listen, make everyone watch. We'll just have a whole party over here. Like I'll be singing in everyone's ears over here. But I love you guys so much, and I'll be back next week, back with a brand new episode. Bye.